Desaad, a final crossword prologue, number 1. Here is a timeline chart of all the various universes in my comic series, with the reality sets being represented in red, the different universes within them being represented in green, the nondescript locations being in gray. At the dawn of the multiverse, there was a prophecy of someone unmatched by any foe. The prophecy of the Sacred One. One singular being would be born with every form of energy and the potential of every being from every reality multiplied by each other. The potential of every Saiyan, every Kryptonian, every Jedi, and the list went on. When the Sacred One was finally born, he was immediately picked up by the multiverse gods. They raised and trained him for the next several years, helping him control his power. By the time he turned 17, his power was unmatched by any in the multiverse. On his 17th birthday, the gods decided to let the Sacred One return to his original world to train under other masters and meet new people. The first thing the Sacred One did upon finding a planet to settle on was overthrow its violent dictator. The people were grateful, but the Sacred One chose to maintain a low profile and try living normally. Eventually, he met a girl, got married, and had a son. The Sacred One trained his son to one day help him protect the multiverse. However, all was not well. An evil scientist had been studying the Sacred One since he arrived and had used him and his son's DNA to create an ultimate fighter. A bioandroid meant to kill the Sacred One and known as Vel. However, Vel killed his creator and went on to challenge the Sacred One and his son to a fight to the death. It was a hard-fought battle, but as soon as the Sacred One activated his strongest form, Vel was no match for him. Desperate, Vel began the process to self-destruct, which would erase their entire reality set from existence. The Sacred One managed to contain the explosion in an energy bubble at the cost of his own life. However, before his death, the Sacred One had created 7 wishing orbs known as the Sacred Orbs. Unfortunately, the orbs had been spread across the reality sets as soon as they were created. Unable to get the orbs, the son of the Sacred One spent the rest of his life guarding his world. Centuries later, one of the Sacred Orbs was discovered on the planet Apocalypse by Desaad. Darkseid's torturer received a vision of himself using the Sacred Orbs to rule all reality with an iron fist. Inspired by this vision, Desaad vowed to make it a reality, but first he would have to fake his death. He did so, and used the Mother Box to travel to Limbo, building a base and forming a plan. He knew of the legend of the Goddess of Sorrow, and the power she held. He also knew of hearts at the centers of certain universes that, when absorbed, would grant the power of that universe to the person who absorbed it. Desaad's plan was to use the universe hearts to become strong enough to control the goddess once he awakened her with the sacred orbs. His attempts to eliminate his opposition have been chronicled in the SpongeBob Adventure saga. And now he has entered the final stage of his plan. First, he goes to recruit a certain someone. Backstory recap for the Dio character, since, well, his story is from a fanfiction that has since been deleted off of Wattpad, so I kind of added this comic last minute as an explanation for his backstory. The following is an alternate history of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3. In this universe, Dio's coffin was discovered in the year 2009 instead of 1983, and the Joestar group that formed in the place of the Stardust Crusaders was nowhere near strong enough to stop him. Shortly after his victory, he met a fellow vampire named YNLN, who became his final servant. YN's grandmother was a vampire who had been killed by humans, causing YN to hold a grudge against them. Together, the two wiped out all of humanity with their stands, and even fell in love. However, YN held a terrible curse. She fell in love with someone and they loved her back. After 9 months, she would turn to stone. Upon learning of this, Dio impregnated her, and they spent the next 9 months preparing for their baby. When their daughter was finally born, YN begged made Dio promise to look after her. She then turned to stone, leaving a heartbroken Dio alone with their daughter. And now, Chapter 1, Desaad and Dio. Coming to you next time because this is already long enough and I don't want it to go over the 15-minute limit.